Brothers and sisters in the Dharma, Suki Hotu. I am Jason from BMSM Youth Section, and I will be the MC for today's session. Welcome to Exploring Your Reality series, which is organized by Buddhist Missionary Society Malaysia, BMSM Youth Section, with Venerable Nyaninda. Today would be our 8th episode titled Thoughts Create Our World. Just want to check, I saw Carol posted that there's no sound.
There is.
There is, okay. Carol, maybe you might check your settings. Thank you, yeah. Just some gentle reminders. Please use your actual name in the Zoom room. If you face any technical issues, please let us know via the chat box and our team will try to assist you. Allow me to go through the flow of today's program. After this, we will pay homage to the Triple Gem and administer the 5 precepts, followed by a short mindfulness meditation up to 8:15 p.m. Just a gentle announcement. As part of the Million Minutes of Metta and Mindfulness initiative, please note that we would be submitting the minutes accumulated during the group meditation at the start of this Dharma session later. We would then proceed to share the video for today's lessons, and Bante would then proceed to provide a brief recap of our previous episode and would follow with today's topic. At 9:15, it will then be open to the floor for a question and answer session up to 9:45 p.m., followed by the dedication of merits guided by Bante Nyaninda, and the session will end at 10 p.m. For the question and answer session, we encourage participants to post your questions in the chat box or raise your hand and unmute yourself to proceed with your question. Don't feel shy, just raise your hand and unmute yourselves. It's a very, you can ask any form of questions. Just let us know. Please note that due to the short time constraint as well, not all questions may be answered, but you can approach to post your questions to Venerable Nyaninda, and we would provide an answer over the coming weeks. Okay. For now, we shall proceed with, I will hand over to Bi Hui and Ting Yan for further of the administration of the precepts and also the homage of Triple Gem.
Hi everyone, so now we'll request for the 3 refuge and the 5 precepts. Aham Bante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silam Dhamaya Chami Anugaham Kava Silam Detame Bante Tutiyampi Aham Bante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silam Dhamaya Chami Anugaham Kava Silam Detame Bante Tatiyampi Aham Bante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silam Dhamaya Chami Anugaham Kalva Silam Deta Me Bante
Yamahang Wadami Tam Wadeta.
Ama Bante
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa.
Buddhang Saranam Gacchami.
Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Sanghang Saranam Gacchami.
Dutiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Tutiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Tutiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Tutiyampi Sanghang Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranam Gacchami.
Tisaranena Gamanang Paripunang.
Ama Bante
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Sura Maraya Maja Pamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sura Miraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Idame silang asawa kaya wahang hotu.
Idame silam asak baka yavaham hotu.
Idame silang nibbana sa pacayo hotu.
Idame silam dibasana pacaya hotu.
Tisaranena saha panca silang damang sadukang katwa pamadena sampadeta.
Amabante
Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, we start with the meditation. First, we'll do just 1 minute of sending our good energy to all beings who are facing this COVID-19 pandemic, including ourselves. So just have good wishes that everyone have the greatest strength to face this pandemic. We will just sit silently for 1 minute. Okay, next, I want to actually share with you about breathing, okay? Actually, you'll be quite surprised. 50% of human beings don't really know how to breathe or forgot to know how to breathe. Most of us, how we breathe is because we use phone and computer a lot this way, so we breathe in this way. This is stressful breathing. When you breathe in like this with your head slanted down, the oxygen that goes on in only reach halfway, not through the whole lungs. And also, you have difficulty because you don't have enough oxygen. And it's very useful, especially in this COVID-19. So, few things to remember is breathing, number one. If you could try always to breathe through your nose, not the mouth. Nose will have the nasal hairs to filter out whatever pollutants, and also it will excrete the nitric oxide, which will help to make your blood vessel bigger so that you have more oxygen to go in. So what we'll try to do you take the next few breaths by, when you breathe, try to slant back a bit so that your chest open, and then breathe all the way in until below your navel. Okay, but before I do that, I'm quite sure someone will say, hey, Bante, I practice Anapanasati and I only watch my breath here. Yes, you can watch your breath here or there or whatever, up to you. I'm a very freestyle person, but try to breathe all the way into your dantian, your below the navel. So we will try to do for a few breaths. So breathe in. Open up your chest and allow the breath to go all the way in to below your navel so that you can exercise your diaphragm. That way you have more oxygen. And feel the aliveness. Then breathe out And when you breathe out, let go of all memories of the past, plans for the future. Again, breathe in all the way into the diaphragm, to the dantian, below the navel. You can even hold for a while. Feel the aliveness, feel the nowness. And then breathe, let go, breathe out. Let go of all thoughts, worries, and so on. Can always pick up later. And one last breath. Open up your chest. Breathe all the way into your navel. Hold for a while. Then breathe out. Let go of all worries. Okay, so in normal days, if you want a quick solution to get out from your stressful thinking, is to change your breathing to this deep breathing. Very quick way to get out from your thinking mind, to get out from your emotions. When you're lost in your emotions, lost in your thoughts, try to take a deep breath, open up your chest. You can slant back so that more oxygen will go in. And very fast, when you do this, your body will move into the parasympathetic system. From the sympathetic system, the stress response, to the parasympathetic, and it can start to heal your body, and the growth of the body can continue. So this is one thing to remember. You can do as many deep breaths as you want, okay? And then if you want, you can continue with your anapanasati, watching the breath and so on. Now, the next thing I want to do is to do body scan. Some of you might be familiar with it, but I hope when you do this body scan to really feel the body, not using the brain to think about the feeling, okay? But if you do that also, don't blame yourself. Don't say, oh, now I do it wrongly, so how? No, just do whatever you can, but try to feel. As in every part that I describe, let's say I describe the sole of the feet, try to really feel, put your attention on the sole of the feet and feel there. Feel as in feel, not thinking about feeling. Okay, so now we will start. Just put your attention. We will do the 4 elements very quickly. So put attention on the sole of the feet. Feel if you are sitting on a chair, you can feel the heaviness of the body on the sole of the feet, or the roughness of the sole of the feet, or the hardness of the bones on the feet. Slowly we'll move up to the ankle. Feel the bones in the ankle, the hardness or the softness of the flesh on the feet. Whatever you can feel, whichever part you can't feel, skip it. You can feel the smoothness of the skin on the ankle up to the shin, or the softness of the muscles or flesh. Move up to the knee, the hardness of the knee bone, or the heaviness of the knee bone. Move up to the thigh, the softness of the flesh around the thigh, the hardness of the bones, or the smoothness of the skin on the thigh, or the roughness of the skin also can. These are the earth elements. Move up to the buttock, feel the softness of the tissue, the flesh there, the heaviness of the body sitting on the buttock, the bones, the hardness of the bones there. Move up to the abdomen, the softness of the organs inside, intestines, or the smoothness of the skin on the surface. Remember to totally feel the body. Then move up to the chest, the bones, the rib cage, the hardness of the rib cage, the softness of the flesh, muscles, then the hardness of the backbone, the smoothness of the skin all around. Move up to the neck. Feel the hardness of the bones on the neck, the roughness of the skin or smoothness of the skin, softness of the flesh around the neck, up to the face. Feel the smoothness of the face, the skin on the face, the hardness of the skull, the softness of the brain tissues. Now just feel the entire body, the heaviness of the entire body, or the hardness or the softness of the entire body. Feel whatever characteristic you can feel. Totally feel the body. Or you can even feel the security of the heaviness of the body as like a mountain sitting there. Totally embody the body, feel the body. Now we'll start from the top of the head. Feel the sweat on the top of the head. This is the water element. The tears on the eyes. The fluid in the nose. Saliva in the mouth. Or sweat on the face. Just feel the flowing characteristic of the sweat or the cohesive, the stickiness characteristic of the sweat. Down to the neck. Either you can feel the sweat on the surface or the blood flowing inside if you can. If not, you can just feel the sweat on the surface. Down to the chest. Feel the sweat on the surface or the blood flowing inside. Move further down to the abdomen. To the thigh area. To the knees. The shin. The ankle. All the way to the toes and the sole of the feet. Now just feel the water element in the entire body, either sweat on the surface or any of the flowing water, flowing characteristic of any of the water in the body, the whole body. Can be the tears, saliva in the mouth, now we slowly move from the water, we move to the fire element. From the bottom of the feet, feel the heat or the coldness on the sole of the feet. Move up to the feet itself. You can feel either the heat or the coldness. the ankle, the shin, the knees, the thigh, the abdomen, back of the body, chest area, can feel either the heat or the coldness, the neck, and the head. Can feel either the heat or coldness on the face, on the back of the head. And now we can feel the heat or the coldness in the whole body as a whole. The warmth of in the body, or the coldness on the skin, on the surface of the skin. Finally, we move to the wind element. From the top of the head, feel the flowing wind element. Can be external wind touching the surface of the head. Then the face wind element going into the nostril, or the wind element supporting the head, that's why it can keep up. Or wind element pushing the head so that we can move the head down to the chest and abdomen area. The wind element supporting the body to be straight, or pushing the body to move. Down to the legs, to the thighs, the knees, and down all the way to the toes. And can feel the wind element supporting the whole body as a whole, or pushing the body to move left or right. Just feel the wind element in the whole body. Okay, we'll end with loving kindness for ourselves. Just put your attention on your heart. Put a smile in the heart and in the face. Wish yourself to be well and happy, be at ease, be strong and healthy. And allow this good wish, good energy to flow from the heart up to the top, to the chest, all the way up to the neck, to the head, and down to the abdomen, to the legs, also to the hands, wishing each and every single part of the body to be well, to be happy, to be at ease, to be free from mental suffering, physical suffering, to be strong and healthy. And allow this good energy to flow out to all beings, seen or unseen, far or near. Wishing all beings in the whole world, without discriminating race, religion, nationality, wish all to be at ease, to be healthy, happy, to be strong. May all beings be well and happy. Okay, you can feel the whole body again. If you can feel the body, you can slowly open the eyes. Okay, so next time if you are lost in your thoughts or in your emotions, one quick way is deep breathing or feel the body. When you feel your body, then you're not lost in your thoughts. Okay, nothing wrong with your thoughts, but only when you believe in it and you lost in it, then you can get very stressful. And all your stress, all our worries all come from our thoughts. So if you can really embody the body, be in the body, then you can move out from there. Okay, I think we can start with the video.
You are not your thoughts. Every day we have thousands of thoughts, emotions, urges, memories, and feelings. From the time we wake up in the morning, all throughout the day, to when we lay down to sleep at night. No matter who we are, we all have thoughts swirling around in our heads. We even think and feel in our dreams. Often, we don't realize how many thoughts we are having, and we get lost in them. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're thinking. We seem to be swimming in a sea of our own thoughts. When we are surrounded by our thoughts, it's easy to get caught up in them and react automatically, sometimes in ways we don't even mean to react. We might hold on to some thoughts, even when we don't want to, and it can feel like our thoughts are overwhelming. But thoughts are not facts, and they are not always true, even if they seem to be. Next time you feel caught up in your thoughts, try paying attention to them with curiosity and not judgment. It doesn't matter if they are true or false, right or wrong, just notice them. How fast or slow are they? Are they all very different from each other? Or perhaps you're having the same ones over and over again. Maybe they're even focused on one theme. Some of these thoughts may be unwanted. But instead of reacting to them, notice what happens to your body sensations and your emotions when you have these thoughts. Perhaps you will notice if they are bringing you closer to or further away from what is important to you or the goals you have for yourself. Observing your thoughts is a skill that takes practice, like playing an instrument. Sometimes it'll be easy for you to be able to notice and respond to your thoughts. Other times, you might have to work really hard to get some distance from them. You might even have to keep letting go of the same unwanted thought over and over again. But don't give up. Keep trying. Like waves in the ocean, thoughts are always passing through our minds and can affect how we feel and what we do. But they are not us, and we are not our thoughts. Learning to be aware of our thoughts can allow us to respond with more choice instead of reacting in ways we may regret. Observing our thoughts gives us some distance to see how our thoughts make us feel. We can then choose to act in ways that bring us closer to the things and the people that are important to us. Remember, you are not your thoughts. Try observing your thoughts with curiosity. Try it right now.
Okay, so when it comes to thoughts, you don't have to control them. We can't control our thoughts, okay? Important thing is, first thing to know that you are not your thoughts, okay? Thoughts are just passing energy that pass through you. So as long as you don't hold on to the thoughts, new thoughts will come, okay? And also whatever thoughts that come, although you cannot control, but you can choose how you respond to it. The most important thing I keep reminding people is not to believe in your thoughts 100%. Okay? If you don't believe in your thoughts, even a lot of millions of negative thoughts come through you, it doesn't really matter because you don't believe in them. It's like when you walk into a room and there's a very noisy aircon sound. If you don't listen to it, you don't pay attention to it, ignore it, after a while, you don't even notice it. So same with these thoughts, if it's negative. The problem comes when you really care about your thoughts, when you pay attention every single thoughts and believe they are true. And to me, the best way not to get lost in the thoughts is not try to stop the thoughts. It's like, if you want to stop a car, you can press the brake, or you can step on the, let your legs go off the accelerator. You can have a choice, either press the brake or let go of the accelerator. When you let go of the accelerator, the car will stop also. Same, if you don't continue to add more fuel to your thoughts, if you don't continue to keep thinking, the thoughts will change, new thoughts will come. So, and this is important to bear in mind. An important thing is, in life, you got to remind yourself that you can either live in your thinking or you live in your life. You can't do both. When you're living in your thinking, you're actually not living in your life. And living in your life is much more beautiful than living in your thinking. Also, our thoughts, it can also be like a mirage or a colored lens that make us see everything through a biased point of view. So you got to be very careful with that. And that's how, like in America, when they have different parties, Democrats and Republicans, they can't understand why the other person thinks a totally different way. That's because through social media, they're being brainwashed to see from one single track of mind. So important not to believe in thoughts. Okay, if you are exposed to social media, sometimes it's good to listen to different opinions, then you get balance. If you listen to one source only, the American source, it's always the Chinese is terrible. If you listen the other way, then it will be the other side. So you got to listen both ways to get a balance. Okay, the video keep asking us about observing the thoughts. That's one way. Another way I feel that might be easier for some people is when there are too many thoughts, if you try to observe it, you might get lost in it. So another way is when you realize that your emotions go wild, you are already lost in your thinking. You don't have to check what thinking it is, because emotions are the best indicator of your thoughts. When you are totally in anger or depressed or sad or whatever loss, you are already lost in your thoughts. So what you got to do at that time is not continue to add fuel in there, okay? As long as you don't believe these thoughts, you can be how negative it is, whatever, it will pass. You just have to be patient. It will pass by itself. And the important thing is not to control the emotions. So emotion is the indicator for the thoughts. So it's not a bad thing. When you're angry means you're thinking angry thoughts. You don't try to, like a thermostat. When the thermostat show it is hot, means maybe you got to put on the fan. You don't go and change the thermostat to show it's cold. So similarly, you don't force your emotions the other way. When it's angry means, you know, you have angry thoughts. What you're supposed to do is not continue with these angry thoughts, not try to change this thermostat, okay? Now we will go to the slides. And then I will recap the past episodes. Okay, this is important. Oh, I've got echo. Maybe you have to switch off the sound on the slide or something, I think. Or is it, okay, now it works. Okay, so this whole Exploring Your Reality series, important is explore with curiosity. Same like just now the video say explore your thoughts with curiosity. So you explore your reality in this world with curiosity. Whatever I tell you, try to explore with curiosity. The thing that I keep emphasizing is that you live in your thoughts, not live in the world. You live in your thinking of thoughts, not in the world. Don't believe me, explore this with curiosity. Explore with playfulness. You know, it's like a game. Try to understand it's a game, not too serious. Explore with fun and be childlike. Actually, how our Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, got enlightened is on the night before his enlightenment, after he go through, no, not before that, sorry, before his enlightenment, after 6 years in the ascetic practice, he think back when he was around 8 years old, when he was a child, he was sitting under the rose apple tree, and with this childlike mentality, not a lot of concept or opinion, he went into jhana, and that's the path to enlightenment. So go back to our childlike nature, which is in us, only that we lost it as we grow older and adult, we have more responsibility, we lost it. Get back that childlike nature in us. Although it's lost, it's in us, but not childish. There's a difference between childish and childlike. Childish is immature. Childlike has this naivety and not tainted by concepts and opinions. Okay, next slide. Ting Yuan, okay, thanks. So, okay, first episode, we talk about thought, the missing link. And this is very important because throughout the series, I keep emphasizing this, that we have us, the consciousness, and our circumstances. There is a missing link called thought, which means that we don't actually experience our circumstances. We don't experience our boss, our husband, our wife, our children, and so on. We experience our thinking about them. And this is very important because you can't change the circumstances. You can't change your boss, your husband, your wife. You can't change the weather, but you can change your thinking about your boss, your husband, your wife, and the weather. So that's good news because you don't live in the real world anyway. You live in your thinking about the world, and your thinking about the world can change. The world out there, it's very difficult to change. So that's good news in that sense. Okay, next slide. Okay, so again, this is to stress that we feel our thoughts, not our circumstances. We experience and feel our thoughts. So when we are angry, it's because we have angry thoughts, not because what the boss say. The boss might say something, and in your mind, you have keep telling yourself, why did he say that? Why did he send me out to, out to nowhere to work, and this is MCO time? Why did he do this to me, and so on? It's your thoughts that cause you trouble, not what the boss say. The boss might say something, maybe might be hurtful or whatever, but it's your thinking that keep hurting you again and again. So similarly, your boss might show some, there's some expression on his face, but that image is just an image. But when it comes to your mind, you convert it, interpret it as, oh, why does he show me a sour face? Maybe he don't like me today, maybe he's going to sack me, and so on. So those are stories that you create. You have to understand this and look in this direction. When you understand how life works, things will change for you. You have to keep exploring. Okay, next slide. So emotions, like I said just now, are indicator for thoughts. So it's very important that you don't get very upset when you're angry. When you're angry, don't get angry at yourself for being angry. When you're angry, it means that you are thinking angry thoughts. So it's time not to continue thinking these angry thoughts. So this is very important. Okay. So just keep reminding you that thoughts is not the problem, because otherwise you will try to solve the thoughts. Thoughts is not a problem. Thoughts is just a creative force. It's believing that the thoughts is 100% true. That's the problem. So if you allow the thoughts to come and pass by, then there is no problem at all. Now, next slide. We move to episode 2. Episode 2, we talk about natural well-being, that there is always a fun-loving child inside us. And child don't need a reason to be happy. Actually, the happiness we seek for, that we look for, the peace and all that, it's already inside us. You look at a baby, a child, of course, when they are hungry and when they are wet, they will cry and all that. But in normal time, they don't need a reason to be happy because that's their nature. So similarly, it's our nature also. Only when we grow up, because the society has to encourage us to work, so it gives a standard like, if you achieve this, then we'll give you something, then you'll be happy. But actually, we don't need anything to be happy. It's inside us, this happiness. And this is also another good point to remember, but you have to explore, don't believe me, that whatever happiness, peace, love that you search for, it's inside here, not outside. So if you try to keep searching outside, you will not find it and you keep getting disappointed. When you manage to look inside, it's there, and you can give this love, happiness to other people. So how we know this? If you look at baby, have you ever seen a depressed baby? No. Baby are never depressed. So we are never born depressed. Depression is learned. We learn to be depressed. So actually you can say fundamentally, every one of us are mentally, have an innate mental health, and none of us is broken. And this is very important. So no matter what happened, we are always okay because inside us is okay. And I always want to share this experience of an American coach who says that at one time when his daughter was in ICU, he was very anxious because the daughter don't know what's the outcome. But he can see underneath this anxiety, there is this calm and peace in there, which is always us. You just got to look. So try to explore this, even though no matter what stressful situation is, there is this calm and peaceful feeling down underneath us. Can you show the next slide, please? Yeah. So you can, like the waves on top is like our emotional wave, emotional turmoil. Even though we are lost in the emotional turmoil, there is always calmness, like the bottom of the ocean. So you can pay attention to the bottom of the ocean, which is our emotional calmness underneath us, underneath those emotional waves, or you can pay attention to emotional turmoil. So you have a choice in that sense. And if you ask, Bhante, which sutta say this? I always mention this luminous sutta, Anguttara Nikaya, Pabhasara Sutta. It's about the mind is luminous inside and there's adventitious gas defilement. So you can always pay attention to this luminous bright mind, or you can pay attention to the defilement. Both always it arises together. Okay? So we are always okay no matter what. We can always be okay even though we are not okay. So we can be okay with the not okay. Okay, now next slide. Episode 3, compassion. Compassion actually is getting the same wavelength with other people. And it comes together with metta, loving kindness, mudita, sympathetic joy, rejoicing in others' goodness, and equanimity, upekkha. So all these 4 are actually together, 4 different facets. And this also I agree, according to Paul Ekman, a psychologist, compassion, loving kindness, all these are not an emotion. They're actually our nature. It's part of us. It's not like anger and all that, which are emotion that comes and go. This is part, like what I say just now, the natural calm that is inside us. Okay, next slide. Episode 4. Okay, episode 4, we talk about what are we. Easier to go by the negative part. We are not the bodies. Okay, we are more than the bodies. We are not our emotions, because you can be aware of the emotions. You can be aware of your sadness, you can be aware of your happiness, then you are not the emotions. Like you can be aware of the phone in front of you, a computer in front of you, you are not the phone or the computer. We are not our thoughts, we are not our occupations. So what you can say is we are formless, boundless, spaciousness, peace, luminous, expansiveness, love, and all this you can roughly point to who we are. But we are definitely not our bodies, emotions, thoughts, occupations. So if you don't limit to this body, don't limit to your thoughts, we can go, our potential is huge, enormous. Unfortunately, we always limit to what we know. What we know is all the past memories only. It's very little compared to what is possible. If you don't get lost in your thoughts, our possibility is infinite. We'll talk more about this in future episodes. Okay, next slide. Okay, before we talk this, just now about what are we is, to find out what are we, you got to look within, look before the form, or look where the space or the silence where the thoughts arise. Okay, look at what exists before you see, hear, and feel. If you want to explore this, what are we? Okay, you can't really describe this, because we are the formless thing. You can't describe with form, but we can point to it, we can experience it. We are the space where the thoughts arise. Try to, next time when we think, there's always the background space. Okay, this mental weight. Okay, mental weight, 3 points, very important. Number one is mental weight or stress don't come from outside. We always think it comes from outside. It's our boss that gives us stress. It's our husband that gives us stress, our kid and all that. No, it's your thinking. The boss can say a million things and you are the one who think, why my boss give me such a short deadline? Why my boss asked me to do this? I don't want to do this and so on. It's your thinking. When you can see where the source come from, then you can solve it. If you don't know where the problem is, I'm a trained engineer, and the first thing we're taught is if you don't know where is the problem, you can't solve it. First, you got to find where is the problem. The problem is not from outside, it's problem from the thinking. So this point you have to remember. Don't believe me, try to explore and see. Number two is we are not built for constant stress. This is very important. A lot of people think stress is useful to motivate them. No, we are not built for stress. We are built for short-term stress, maybe 1 hour when the tiger comes. This is a few thousand years ago when tiger comes, which only comes maybe once or twice a week. Then you need this stress to run away from the tiger. But now we are constantly stressed 24 hours. When you are stressed, your growth, your healing side, the parasympathetic system cannot work. Only your stress, your adrenaline works. Because to run away from a tiger, you don't need growth, you don't need healing. But now we are running away from the tiger 24 hours, 7 days. It would be too much of a torture on the body. And the third one is you must have intention that you don't want to live in stress. If you keep thinking stress is useful, you can't get out from there. Actually, when we are calm, when we are coming from love, from calm, peaceful mind, we can get more things done than from stress. You don't need stress to motivate you. If that things you like doing, you will do it. So you don't need stress to motivate. If you don't like to do that thing, then you must think the reason why and then get yourself to look at different angle to see that like or dislike, it's coming from your thoughts also. Okay, next slide. There's nothing in this world that can trouble you more than your own thoughts. So all your problems come from your thoughts, okay? So it's a waste of time to get lost in your thoughts, and we are always scaring ourselves with our thoughts. Next slide. Okay, I love this slide actually. This one is episode 6, okay? We live life according to our thinking. And unfortunately, our thinking is worry about a lot of things. And things that you worry is like the red color or the, orange color. And things that can happen, it's only a small amount. And things do really happen, it's just a dot. So we waste a lot of time worrying or thinking about things that never happen at all. And do happen is just a minor bit, okay? And in terms of this, we live life according to our thinking is, everybody, actually, this phrase to me, it's very useful, as in everybody is doing the best they can given the thinking they have. So if someone thinks that everyone is out there to get them, then they will be very antagonistic towards other people. They might even kill other people because they think their life in danger. So we live life according to how we think. So it's very important. One story, I think a lot of you might have heard of this story, is someone saw a dog, a cute dog, and tried to pet the dog, and then the dog wanted to bite, and it's quite very angry. Why the dog wanted to bite me when I'm so nice to the dog? And then finally saw the dog's leg is trapped in a trap, got stuck in a trap. So if a person is stuck in a difficult situation, then of course anger will come out. So we live our life according to our thinking. When we think angry thoughts, then our life will be shaped that way. And things might not appear to be what it is. So another story that I heard recently, to me, I love this story, is that it makes us pause and check what we see is not what you really think it is, okay? And this story is about an American Army officer, veteran, retired Army officer, who has been learning about mindfulness meditation. And one day he was on a queue trying to buy some things, and so happened the old lady in front of him was carrying a baby, And when the old lady reached the counter, the old lady was buying only a small item, passed the kid, the small kid, to the cashier, and they were playing, the cashier was playing with the kid, and they were joking and all that. And this American veteran was very upset. It's like, you're only buying a small item and you're taking so much time, and I'm waiting here, you are wasting all my time. But he kept reminding himself, calm down, watch my breath, just calm down. And when he calmed down, he can saw the cuteness of the baby, the little kid. So when he reached his turn, he just tell the cashier, say, what a cute kid it was, instead of in anger scolding the cashier. And the cashier says, yeah, it's my kid. My husband serves in the war and he was killed, and I have to take care of the family, so I have no time to really play with the kids. Once a day, my mother will bring the kid to the shop so that at least I can see the kid. And immediately this veteran soldier, his whole thinking changed. This is the only chance for the mother to see the kid, and he was upset for it. So our thinking will change, when we see the real situation. What we think, what we experience might not be the real situation. So this is very important. Okay, next slide. I showed this slide before. If you put your hands in between the two cushions, you will see that it's actually of the same color. Yeah, so actually we are shaped. You put a finger in between the two cushions, you will see that it's the same color. So we are shaped by our background. The top one, because it's shaped by the blue, it becomes darker color. The bottom one, shaped by the green, it becomes lighter color. So similarly, depending on what upbringing we have, the society and all that, it shapes our thinking and shapes the way we live our life. And nothing wrong with that, as long as we don't think it's ultimate truth. There's no really right or wrong. We are just being brainwashed a certain way. And you have no choice. You either brainwashed by the Star Malaysia, or you brainwashed by CNN, or you brainwashed by the Chinese news. Either way, you'll be brainwashed by something. So maybe it's safer if you've been brainwashed by the Dharma. Anyway, next slide. Okay, this is episode 7. Pain is unavoidable, suffering is always optional. I love this title, as in life, there are many things that we can't avoid. There are sometimes some things we can avoid, but we can choose whether we want to suffer the pain or not. When I say pain here, not just bodily pain, but also painful circumstances, painful situations in our life. Last month, I was talking about you try to accept whatever pain that comes, then you don't have to suffer it. But I think the better word is being. So underneath this acceptance, I put being, because acceptance, it still gives the idea that you have to do something to accept these things that happen to you. And then you try to work at it. Actually, you don't need to work at it. You just be with it without suppressing it, without ignoring it, without trying to change it. You just be with it. Of course, when I say be with it, doesn't mean you don't go seek treatment. If you have a problem with your body, you need to seek treatment, then you seek treatment. But at the meantime, before you get healed, you can be with it, not fight it. The more you fight it, the more you resist, the more it persists. Okay, and the next. Okay, hold on. Okay, next slide. Okay, so a lot of things, same with this topic, the suffering, is we actually scare ourselves. That's why I'll call fear as in false evidence appearing real. A lot of things that, like we are seeing a necktie on the ground, we think it's snake. Okay, because all our fear comes from our thoughts, so we are scaring ourselves. Then you might ask, Bhante, but this scaring of ourselves, it's always we scare of this unknown, the imaginary unknown. Like we scare, but all this. Sorry, we're not scared of the unknown. We are scared of the imaginary known. Okay, we always think that we are scared of the unknown, but we are actually scared of imaginary known, as in we think, oh, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if a snake come in? What if I got COVID-19, what will happen? We are all playing with all the imaginary known, but we forgot that our known is limited to our past only. Our potential is huge. So don't get lost with your imaginary known. Then you might ask, what about death? For death, we are scared of losing everything we know, which is losing everything. Losing everything we know is also the imaginary known. Okay, because after you die, you might go to a better place. You don't know, but we think that it might be a worse case than we all are now. I'm not suggesting it's a good idea. I'm just saying that we don't know what will happen, but we think we know. We go and imagine a lot of negative possible result. Okay, and also back to this pain. Painful situation doesn't mean suffering, okay? Because sometimes painful situations could have beautiful side effects. I give an example of one American coach, transformation coach, who says that the last 2 years is the most difficult for him because he has to cope with the wife struggling with cancer. It is the most you can say painful situation, it's unavoidable pain, but he says that those 2 years are the most beautiful years that he and his wife spent together because they have the closest relationship in their 30 years of marriage. They feel more connected with each other because both go through the hardship. So painful doesn't mean suffering. It could be very beautiful. But he says that it is the best thing that can happen to him, but he wouldn't want to wish it to happen on his worst enemy. So it's painful, so you don't want to wish it to happen to yourself or even to your worst enemy, but it doesn't mean that you suffer through it. And I always remember that one of my best monk friend, a Swiss monk, he always says that in his life, when he looked back, he got ordained when he's 60 years old. The most beautiful time he has in his life is when he had been with difficult people, painful times. He learned a lot and it's most beautiful time. I'm not asking you to look for painful, difficult time, but I'm saying that you don't have to suffer. And in fact, we can learn things from there. And similarly for myself, looking back, probably one of the hardest time, most painful time is the time I spent with my mother on the last months of her life. I spent 24 hours sleeping in the hospital with her. Then my father take over 24 hours. Then I come back another 24 hours. Very tough time because she was yelling in pain most of the time. And in fact, all the nurses knows my name and my dad's name because she's always yelling our name. And I felt very helpless that time. At least now I can learn a little bit more about Dharma. And this 20 years ago, now at least I can talk more about Dharma to help her. Also can do a little bit of massage now, but last time I don't know anything, very helpless. But looking back, I wasn't really suffering. I did what I need to do at that time, and it was very meaningful because I did the best I can at that time. And looking back, you can say the best time I had with my mom, because she also after that says she was very grateful to have good children and husband. So painful time doesn't mean suffering. It can be very memorable time and beautiful time in a sense. We just have to be with it because sometimes pain is unavoidable. When you are be with it, even though it's beyond our control, it can be very meaningful to us. Okay, now we go to episode 8. Next slide. This one is a physicist who says, David Bohm, thoughts create the world, and then says, I didn't do it. As in our thoughts is the one who create our world, make us happy, unhappy, and so on. And then says, no, it's not. It's the outside world. So you have to investigate it. Don't believe. Don't take important is don't take thoughts are solid like table or chair. It's not. It keeps changing. And depending on what thoughts we have, we will behave differently. So don't hold on to the thoughts. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is in Anguttara Nikaya Rohitassa Sutta, where the Buddha says you can find the answer of the whole world in this phantom body. And Buddha says, I say, friend, that by traveling one cannot know, see, or reach that end of the world where one is born, does not grow old and die, does not pass away and get reborn. This talking to Rohitassa, who wanted to find the end of the world, the end of the universe, where he can solve this answer of not dying. And Buddha says, yet I say that without having reached the end of the world, there's no making of an end of suffering. It is in this phantom long body, endowed with perception and mind, that I proclaim the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to the cessation of the world. So your answer to everything about the world lies in this body itself. Okay, next slide. Okay, and the answer also lies in dependent origination. In this Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 28 Mahapatipadopama Sutta, the great simile of the elephant footprint, Buddha says, Yo paticca samuppadam passati so dhammam passati, yo dhammam passati so paticca samuppadam passatiti. One who sees dependent origination sees the Dharma. One who sees the Dharma sees dependent origination. So dependent origination is very, very important. If you understand dependent origination, you understand the entire teaching of the Buddha. Next slide. One of the main characteristics of dependent origination is ta, normally translated as thusness. Me and my friends translate it as non-conclusive conclusion, as in you don't conclude a thing, because we play different characters according to different places. At home, maybe we are father, at work we are engineer, and so on. And like the veteran soldier who saw the cashier, she's just playing her role as a mother. So at first he already conclude, she's a cashier, she should play her role as a cashier and get things done quickly in settling the payments and so on. But he forgot, people play different roles. She also need to play her role as a mother. So we cannot conclude one thing. Similarly, if I'm holding this, you will see, oh, it's a pen. But if I'm using this to open a letter, you will think it's a letter opener. But we are very quick to conclude things. If you don't conclude things, there are infinite possibilities. Just like in quantum physics, they say that actually at every single moment, the electrons have many probabilities. Only when we observe it, we collapse it to one probability. So similarly, when we observe the world, we have our idea, we collapse to one possibility, but there are infinite possibilities. Now, next slide. Okay, this is Paticca Samuppada, the 12 links of dependent origination. Okay, I will explain briefly on this today. This one is a translation given by Bhante Punyaji. I like his translation because normally we see this. I'm not saying the other translations or interpretations is wrong. Okay, I'm just like his different approach. Normally we see this as how karma goes from one life to another. But he sees it as how from a normal experience that we have, non-personal experience, we turn it to personal existence. That's how the I was formed. So to me, it's very interesting because to me, the key part of the Buddhist teaching is try to see that there is no inherent permanent existence. There is no this self. No self doesn't mean nothing. There is a fake Nyaninda that keep changes. There is no permanent non-changing Nyaninda here. Okay, I'll explain this. So we start with avijja on the top, the yellow color, insentience, as in for like baby, we start with not knowing anything, doesn't have this consciousness of understanding anything. Then start to the next one on the right, sankhara, mental construction. So from this avijja, we start to construct using our subjective feelings and objective sensations, our cognitive process starts to build our world. Okay, then we move to Vijnana, which is perception here. We distinguish between one object with another. We start to have differentiation. Then Nama Rupa comes, which is name and form. So when we see a form, then we give it a name, like pen. Okay, we see this, then we give it a name, phone. So they start to have a separation already. Okay. Then through the 5 senses, not just seeing, we add in through the babies will take something to smell, to put in the mouth, to taste, and then you will try to hear it through all the different senses and our thinking, all the 6 senses, we make a story out of it. Okay, then we make a story. This pen have ink and can write and so on. Just from a thing, we make a story out of that, and that is Salayatana, 6 sense basis. Phassa, normally translated as contact, here translated as cognition, as in you come into contact with this external world, you start to build a world. And when you start to build a world, Vedana comes in, feeling at the bottom. Okay, you have this feeling of pleasure, non-pleasure, or pleasure painful, or neither painful nor pleasure. When you have this feeling, then you have emotional reaction comes. Emotional reaction comes to like, dislike, and neither like, dislike. Yeah? Then now you start, because of this reaction, emotional reaction, you have upadana, personalization. The I comes in. Yeah? Because then you have, I feel this object, I feel this pen. So it becomes, there's a subject, object, there's a separation already. Originally, it's just an experience. There is no difference between subject, object is together. But now, because of personalization, because you have like, dislike, so it becomes, there's an I and there's a object. So now I starts to form. Okay, and this notion of an I start with, so you have existence, bhava, where you have this I. This I needs to occupy time and space. Space is this body. Time starts with jati is the past, birth, and present is your aging, death in the future. So you have this, time and space of this body. So now the I, the self, is formed. Originally, it's just different perception process only, the 5 aggregates, 5 processes. But now through this dependent origination link, a self is formed, and that's where all the problem comes. When there's no I, you don't have to protect the face of the I, you don't have to protect your reputation and so on. You just do need what needs to be done. But because of this I, you are limited by a lot of things. You're limited by your needing to protect this self, needing to protect your reputation and so on. Okay, next slide. Okay, so how the process works, to be a bit further, like if you see a leaf, it's just a leaf, an object, the light shines on the leaf, and then an image comes to our eye. So it's just an image that we see, but when the image comes into our retina, we start adding a lot of information, like this is a leaf, I like this leaf is very nice, and so on. So all these stories are created by us. You can't say it's real, it's not, because it's created by us, but it's not nothing, okay? I got to keep reminding people, not real doesn't mean nothing. Like rainbow, it's not real, you can't break the rainbow, put it home, but it's not nothing, it exists. Okay, next slide. Okay, don't get frightened by this slide. Just want to show you in Abhidharma how the mind process works. You see the red one, the black one first. The first 3 black is just, forget about it, it's just dormant mind. And then when an object comes into contact with you, it is the green one. Then start to alert to it. The first smiley face is where the object comes into contact with your eye, ear, nose, or whatever. Okay, any of the 5 senses. And this one mind moment, when I click like this, there's billions mind moments that's already passed. So that object only comes into contact with you into 1 of a billion seconds. And the rest of it, the second, third smiley face and the blue star, is all processing. And then you saw the impulsion is your thinking about it. And this will go on, this impulsion again and again for billions of times. So actually that object only touch you for like a split second, but your thinking about it goes for long time. So you're basically, all your experience is your thinking about the object that you come into contact with. Next slide. So that's why in this famous part in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the setting of the motion of the wheel of Dharma, that there's one part the Buddha say, Sankitena Pachupadana Kanda Dukkha. In short, normally translated as clinging, but I prefer translate that personalization of the 5 constituents of process of perception are dukkha. It's actually your body, your feeling, your perception, your mental formation, your consciousness, this 5 process, you personalize it to I, that causes you all the suffering. Next slide. Okay, so actually there's no self, but these 5 aggregates of form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness that makes up us are actually illusory, yeah, but we take it as real. Like the form, our body, the Buddha says is like a foam. The feeling is like water bubble. Perception is like mirage. It's there, really, you see water there, but it's not water. Mental formation is like plankton trunk, it's hollow inside. Consciousness is like illusion or magician. So it's not something solid that you can feel, but we think there's something solid there. Okay. One way that can help us not get stuck with I, you can try this. Next slide, please. Is to try to write a 500-word essay about yourself, but without using the word I, my, mine, we, ours, us. And you will find you write a very beautiful poem. And because actually we are formless, but we limit ourselves with this I, mine, mine, and so on. So this formless you can't really describe. That's why someone say to describe this formless with form is like pointing to fire with eyes. As you describe clearer and clearer, the eyes melt, no more, nothing to point to with. So not so easy to understand this formless thing, but one way is not limit ourselves with the I, my, we, and so on. Okay, next slide. The world is what we think it is. That means it's limited to our thinking, but the actual world is beyond our thinking. So we are limiting ourselves with this. Thinking is limited to all our past experience. Okay, I think I will stop here for questions. I won't go on anymore. I want to see what you're hearing.
Thank you, Bante, for sharing the slides and lesson today. As mentioned by Bante, is there any questions? Give me a moment, yeah. Yes, Brother Jim Loy, you raised your hand.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Just I think if the world is created in our thoughts, then and I mean what we experience is all created in our thoughts, and the reality we observe is also created in our thoughts. Then what's the difference between the dream and the reality? Then? Because in a dream, we also can feel pains, emotions in a dream, and in reality we also feel the same, which if according to Paticca Samuppada it's all built up by our ignorance. Then. So
Same.
So dream is also fake, reality is also illusions. So which one is real? So what is real then?
No real, but again I have to emphasize, not real doesn't mean nothing. You experience something, but you're experiencing a thought. So I always say that it's amazing. Instead of looking at it with fear, you got to look at it with curiosity and interest. Can you see that in the dream, you are the one who create the monster? You are the
Until I'm losing you.
So sorry, I think there's been interruption in Bante's line. Just a moment to check.
Okay, you can hear me, yeah?
Yes,
Yes,
Bante.
Okay. Now go back. What was I saying? Okay, dream is very interesting because you are the one who create the monsters. You are the director, you are the producer, and you are also the actor. You are the one who been chased by the monster, and you are also the audience. So we can learn a lot from the dream. So similarly, in daily life, actually it's the same. You are the producer and the director because you direct your thoughts. Your boss might say something, but you are the one who say, why he say that? How come he say that? You are the one who experience it, and you are the one who acting in it also. So to me, it's almost the same.
sorry to interrupt, Bante. So does it mean in the dream I also there's a karma as well in dream compared to real life? If I commit foulness in a dream, does it become a reality in
Okay, good
There's
question.
still a difference, right? I mean, there's a dream.
Yeah, there's a difference. In the dream, you are your intention is not very strong. So someone did ask Paul this question, and Paul says that there is karma, but it's very, 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 very light. So don't have to worry about it. Okay, don't have to be worried about the karma part. But I encourage you to see the beauty of it. And in our daily life, it's the same. But daily life very hard to see it's a dream because when you hit yourself, it's painful. So what dream is this? So easier if you analyze from the dream and try this. I tried this only. I somehow I didn't have this patience to try again. But if you try this, what I'm going to tell you, it's very interesting. Okay, the next time when you have a dream, before normally when you know it's a dream, you'll wake up immediately. But try continue with the dream, not wake up, but know it's a dream. Then you can do anything. You can fly. You can disappear and appear because you know it's a dream. Once you have this experience, then you can extrapolate this to your daily life. But you got to try this once. Some people told me it's not that difficult. They can do it, but I only managed to do it once.
Yes, Bante. But sorry, just one last question to follow up, clear things up. Because I roughly understand because I have some understanding of Dharma, but how to explain to normal people, which is not to tell them that the reality you experience is all in our thoughts, it's a dream, is not real. Then they might think that you're cuckoo or something like that.
Oh, not difficult. Okay, tell them. Let's say when the boss says something, what they experience is they are thinking, why my boss say this? How come my boss says this? How come my boss asked me to do that? Isn't that they're experiencing that?
Yes, and then if because for some people, if there's some because if dream is fake, the reality we live is also in illusions. So if there's some people need something real, then what is real? Then something real to keep them keep in check and balance. Then is there something? So what is real then? So that you be bit scared and think like that.
Okay, very good question. Actually, when you really understand this, okay, it has to be ready. Okay, you can't teach to someone who's not ready. That's why Buddha says, number one, he only teach the Dharma to those with little dust in the eyes. You can't teach to someone who have mental instability. Okay, you need someone who is quite, stable. Okay, once you teach this, of course, if you really a person who really realize it, they will have this feeling of vulnerability, like falling down. Okay, when you have this feeling of vulnerability, you got to tell the person, yes, you have this feeling of falling down. It's like quite scary, but can you see that there's no ground? There's no ground. It doesn't matter. There's no ground. Try to contemplate this.
Sorry, Bante, can you please repeat? There is no ground?
There's no ground. You're falling down.
I see.
There's no ground. Yeah. Have you ever tried skydiving? It's fun when there's no, you're just gliding down, especially if there's no ground to hit. You just keep gliding. You're only scared because you think there's a ground that you're going to smash into. But yeah, falling, yes, because there's no eye to hold on to. You're falling, but there's no ground.
Yeah. Thank you, Bande. That's a very interesting. I think I roughly get it, but I need to contemplate more to really experience.
Yeah, continue to explore. Okay, Jafar, put up the hand.
Bante, before we go to Jafar, I think there was a question posted in the group chat. Brother Jafar, just hold on. There was a question posted by Tek Hong. Bante, I have two questions. One is, what is consciousness and how it relates to thoughts? Number two, how does Nama Rupa produce Salayatana?
Okay, first question, consciousness, to me, in simple term, okay, layman's term, it's different aspect of the thoughts. You can say that consciousness maybe is the experiencing of the thoughts. Thoughts is a creative energy that build up stories for you to experience. Consciousness is the awareness that allow you to experience whatever your creative thoughts created. Okay. Then the question on Salayatana and how Namarupa creates Salayatana is, okay, I have to, one thing I forgot to stress, these 12 links, a lot of people think that it is A produce B, B produce C, and so on. It's not, okay? And I like how Bante Punyaji described it is, they are actually concurrent. It's together. It's not linear. It's not like A, B, C, D. It's all happens together in one moment. And then you might ask, then why we line it up like it's like A, B, C like that. He gives the example like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 comes after 1, but not in terms of time and space, in terms of logic, not in terms of time and space. It doesn't mean Salayatana comes after Namarupa, okay? But anyway, how Namarupa produce, don't say produce, actually, how both of them arises together is when there is this sixth sense, this name and form, then it works together with when there is a differentiation of name and form, then your six senses will have this differentiation of there is a sound and I'm hearing the sound and so on. Okay, it can be both way. Salayatana can be both way to the Namarupa or Namarupa could be Salayatana. Okay, next question.
Brother Jafar, you've raised your hand. Would you like to ask the question directly?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Bante, for today's sharing.
Yeah.
I have a last question to ask Bante about karma.
Yeah.
I find that in my life, for example, right, in work or whatever, that even though I try to be as pure as possible in in my deeds, in the way I do, but eventually people will give me troubles. So when people give me troubles, I don't know how to react. I'm afraid that if I take revenge or be angry, I will be, having bad karma. And then if I keep quiet, I'll be suffering. I feel stressful inside or suffering. So I, after listening to your sharing, in fact, a few weeks ago, I also, how can I say, I draw myself closer to the Buddha's teaching. I find that about this, it is very true that we are not nothing, but it's like I try to think like whatever negativities or positivity or anything is temporary and is not how can I say, it's imaginary. It's we actually control our mind. Yeah, I would like to hear advice from you.
First advice I would say is don't live out of fear. You seems to give me the idea that you are afraid of doing things because of karma. Karma to me is just cause and conditions. It's not like a curse that you have to be afraid of. And second thing is the most important thing is Buddhism is not about being a doormat for people to step on. I always say that. Buddhists are not like, we have to be always subservient to people, allow people to, Buddha never says, when someone slaps you on the right cheek, let them slap the left cheek. No, that's stupid. What you have to do is not act out of anger. If you want to let people slap you, it's okay, you can, but the Buddha never says that. The important thing is try to, whatever situation is, try to feel that calmness that's always inside us. There's always love and calmness from inside us. From that place, we will know to do the best thing we can at whatever circumstances. The best thing might be sometimes to confront a person, or to leave the person, or to break a relationship, or it could be many things, but not out of anger. Because anger is, I'm not saying anger is bad. I'm just saying that when you're out of anger, it's at the loss to you. In court, when one lawyer wants the other lawyer to lose, is try to make the other lawyer angry so that he cannot think anymore. When you're angry, you are not thinking from the correct state of mind. So it's at a disadvantage to you, not because it's negative. What are you hearing, Jaffa?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, but you get what I say, or you have further questions, or?
I'm still actually quite, how can they say? I got your point. Is that I find that my life full of this kind of problem. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm quite straightforward. I'm a quite nice person. Just that my surrounding, the people, they always take advantage of me. I find it's very difficult for me. I don't know how. That's why.
Yeah, then you have to, if people take advantage of you, you have to voice out. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong in the Buddhist teaching that you can't voice out. So
I voice out normally when the situation had gone quite serious. I'm always a very patient person. Yeah, I notice this is also like my weakness and also my strength.
Yeah, but the important thing is compassion has to go with wisdom. Wisdom is very important in Buddhist teaching, which means that at the appropriate time you have to voice out. You can't say, because I'm a nice guy, I can't voice out. Then you're attached to your being nice guy. In Buddhism, the most important thing is not get lost in your attachment. Attaching to being a nice guy is also an attachment. Of course, it's better than being attached to a bad guy, but still, it's attaching to something. So you have to voice out. You have to learn to communicate.
Yes, I got the point. I got the point about the attachment, the form, the physics. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So go ahead, be a nice guy. But if you are suffering because you're being a nice guy, then it's not helping.
Sorry, just very quick one. Just because it's my nature also, that's why this thing. Sorry, thank you. I think I should let the time for others to ask. Thank you so much for listening to my question.
Okay. Just one last thought for you to ponder is, nature is also our thoughts. We are the one who create the thoughts that this is me. I can't do anything about it. We can't do everything about ourselves. Okay.
Yes, I got the point. The thought. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Try. Okay. Next question.
Bante, there was a question posted directly.
Yeah.
I believe it's quite similar to what you explained earlier. It writes here, when one don't get any recognition in work, what should one do? Just keep quiet or bring it up to the boss?
You actually, okay, good question. Important thing is you have to know, you have to somehow make your boss know that you are doing the work. Because if the boss doesn't know, the boss, to me, I don't know, when I was working, I have this principle. Rule number one, the boss is always right. When I say always right, doesn't mean, I mean, if you deal in drugs, then I don't follow, of course, okay? Boss is always right means I will try my best to do whatever I can. And rule number two is, if the boss is not right, look at rule number one. So anyway, you have to somehow, one way or another, make your boss realize that you are doing the work. So maybe you're not getting recognition because the boss didn't see. So you have to somehow make him aware. If you didn't make aware because you want to be a Mr. Nice Guy, then I'm sorry, again, you suffer because of being a nice guy. That doesn't help you. So my advice is somehow you got to think of a way. If you ask me, how do I think of a way to make my boss know? You will know, actually. When you calm down, when your mind calm down, you will know. You are the best person to know about your boss, and you are the best person to know about yourself. The best expert about yourself is yourself. No one else knows better about you than yourself. So but you need your mind to calm down, then you will know what to do. Okay, next.
Bante, you want to take some questions from the slide?
Slide can, can please, before we forget. My doubt is, I'm afraid that if we love our pain, this is very interesting. If we love our pain, it might not leave us. I'm so used to chase away the pain and sorrow, invite only the joy and good vibes. Please enlighten me. Okay, if this works for you, no problem. But what I'm saying, love the pain doesn't mean that to look for pain and to get more pain. Okay, what I mean about love the pain is to be with the pain when you are waiting for the pain to be healed. Okay, if you resist the pain, you fight the pain, sorry, then it will give you a lot of suffering. But if you be with the pain, and you can call it love the pain, be with the pain, that means you are not treating it as an enemy, then it will leave. I won't say leave, it won't affect you anymore. But if you are loving the pain to make sure it leaves you, then it will always stay there. You cannot have this hidden agenda that I love my pain so that it will leave me no more pain. You must be with the pain no matter what happens, then the pain won't affect you anymore. But if you used to chase away and invite good vibes, it helps you, it's okay. But then you are thinking pain as an enemy, one day it might affect you, only that. Okay, next.
But they just want to follow up on this question. What is like if those who have really much aversion to like a certain emotion or pain, like instead of this is like to we love our pain, but those who have like aversion towards it, will it also be like?
Yeah, you have to learn when you have aversion with certain emotions, you have to learn to be with the emotions until it doesn't affect you. Okay, one way is you just pay attention to that emotion, and then you will feel that one Tibetan Rinpoche give a very good hand example. It's like, let's say this is your emotion and this is your awareness. So you have to be with that emotion. It will hit you and it will keep hitting you, but just be with it, keep being with it, not press it down, not turn away, keep be with it. And then one day this emotion will open up. So you just have patience to keep with the emotion. Yes, all of us have some emotions that we call it emotional blockage that's blocked inside us. So you have to pay attention, be aware of the emotion, just be with the emotion, like make friends with it. Just stay there. It will hit you, it will keep hitting you, but just be there. Don't press it down, don't turn away. Then one day the emotions will open up.
Okay. We'll go to the next question. It's a feedback actually from the same person. Said it's very useful. Through my experience, calmness, non-judgmental mind came freely from within us, not having to really seek it. Please discuss more in your next session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Next question is, how do I get rid of intrusive thoughts? Sometimes bad, angry memory of the past keep popping up.
Okay, so don't try to get rid of thoughts. What you have to do is, if you don't continue with the thoughts, new thoughts will come, it will pass. Don't ever try to get rid of thoughts, because when you try to get rid of thoughts, you take the thoughts as real and you make it more solid. But if you don't pay attention to it, it will pass. It will keep passing. The bad, angry memory will keep popping up, but you keep ignoring it. It's like you walk into a room, very noisy aircon, you keep ignoring it. After a while, you don't even hear the noise. Okay. If you find difficulty, feel the body. Take deep breath. Okay, next.
Next is a feedback. It says it's very useful to apply in my daily life. Appreciate to continue, and also would appreciate Bhante talk on dependent origination. I think that was covered earlier. Yeah. We have one more, just a feedback. It said very useful. I've been fascinated with Buddhist psychology, and this is very interesting. Truly, like what Venerable said, explore and everything can be applied in our daily life. Thank you for this series. Look forward to each session. That's all we have for the online submissions.
Okay.
Bhante, I believe something was posted by Vincent Lin in the group chat.
Okay.
Psychologists said that there is a subconscious mind. What is the Buddhist perspective?
Subconscious mind.
Brother Vincent, would you maybe want to elaborate a bit more on the question?
Hello, Bhante.
Yeah.
Vincent here.
Yeah.
Okay, basically, I have read some articles on motivation, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they say that subconscious is like take the example of an iceberg, you know.
Yeah.
Subconscious mind is the so-called power underneath the surface.
Yeah.
And it actually knows what is what do you call the habits, maybe a accumulation of habits and all that. And actually, sometimes the conscious mind may lose its direction, but the subconscious will know exactly what to do. It's something like a sixth sense, lah. So I this is from the scientific point of view. I don't know what is the Buddhist perspective on this.
What I can say is, when we are not lost in our thoughts, we have an intuition that guides us to do what is best for us. So this is what we call maybe you can call the luminous mind in the Luminous Mind Sutta. So if you're not lost in your thoughts, there is an intuition that comes out that lets you know what is best to do for whichever situation. But you have to be not lost in your thoughts. But when I say not lost in your thoughts, doesn't mean no thoughts. Sometimes there can be a lot of thoughts, but your attention is not there, not lost in there. Then you somehow have this feeling, I need to do this, I need to do that. And this feeling comes from a very good feeling, not from like, should I do this? I don't know. Then, yeah, that maybe is what you are talking about.
So another term you can use is maybe intuition.
Yeah, intuition. Yeah.
So where's the source?
Oh, where is the source of this? Actually, all humans are interconnected. We are just, each of us is just a wave in the whole ocean.
Okay.
So
yes.
Actually, scientists has already discovered that we are, hologram.
Yes.
When I was small, there is this pictures where when you turn it, there's a 3D picture that come out. Okay.
Yep.
And it's quite surprising. I didn't know, I've never tested it, but I read recently in Science. If you cut one small piece of this hologram picture, it will still have the 3D, which means that the information is also in one small one. So scientists have discovered that each single thing in this whole entire universe has information about the entire universe. That means in me have every information about everyone else, but it's just that I live in my thoughts. I didn't access in there. So our potential is infinite. if you
Yeah.
if you touch into this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Next.
Brother Bante, another question in the group chat from SL. How to deal with a family member who keeps on doing things that I don't like / keeps on doing something that makes me feel taken advantage of and won't change even after confronting them about it?
The important thing is you, not the family member, as in if you get affected means you are living in your thoughts. Yeah. When I say it doesn't mean you not do anything, okay? You can confront, you can do whatever, but the best is if you can confront from a peaceful and calm state, because that's the time when your best intuition come out. But it doesn't mean that we are able to change all situation out there. Okay, sometimes we can't change the situation out there. And in Buddhism, the most important thing is to change yourself. You have to look that if there is one day you still get affected by this, means you are still thinking your thoughts are real. Because you don't really feel that person, you only feel what you think that person say. And the person might say maybe one time, you are stupid, but when you go home, you scold yourself 1,000,000 times, like, why did he say I'm stupid? How come he say I'm stupid? Which part of me is stupid? You are scolding yourself 3,000,000,000 times. That person might say one time. So explore this. Don't believe me that your anger, your can't live with that person comes from your thoughts, not from that person. The person might do something, okay? And in the end, you might choose not to be with the person, whatever, that's okay. But try to choose from a calm mind, not choose from this thinking mind that this guy is a bad guy. Your bad guy and good guy also come from your thoughts. Okay? In the end, you might not be able to love the guy, but you have to be able to understand that your anger of that person comes from here, not from there. Okay, next.
So far, we have no more questions in the group
We
chat.
clear the chat group. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, one question. I get
Yes.
angry and provoked whenever exam result comes out because my friends will always discuss. Can you read the rest?
Can I read the rest? Okay. Discuss their marks and I see they expect my results to be not as good as theirs. I feel frustrated and helpless. Can you advise me how to deal with these thoughts?
Try not to believe your thoughts that your thoughts might be telling you that I'm not as good as my friend is better than me, they're looking down at me, why they bully me, why they want to belittle me and so on. Those are all not to believe your thoughts. Take your thoughts as just like if you go into a ghost movie, you pay money to watch a ghost movie to get scared, but you don't take it as real. When you come out, you still don't keep thinking about the ghost movie. So maybe you can think your friends are like, maybe temporary actor and actress in a ghost movie. They're really trying to scare you, but after that, it's over, then it's just a movie. So if you don't take it too seriously, it doesn't affect you. But we take our thoughts as real, as in they are really looking down at me, they are trying to belittle me and so on. Then it will make you worse and worse. So try not to take the thoughts as real. Okay. Just sideline. For those who, next Friday, we will start this awareness of Dharma in daily drama. Okay, my hope for that series, I will try to not go too long in that series because I want everyone to share. So not me talking only. So my hope for that series of Friday nights is everyone in their daily life to share what they see the Dharma in daily life. When I say Dharma, it's like, impermanence. Can they see impermanence in daily life, see unsatisfactoriness, see non-self? Can they see that they're living in your thoughts, not living in the real life? And how, when they see it or when they didn't see it and they get lost in it? Or any other questions? So my hope for that series is not me talking. Hopefully every different person will come and share their experience of Dharma in their daily drama, as in, while fighting with my friends, scolding and quarreling, a huge drama come out, but suddenly I realized that it's all a drama created in my thoughts. So I hope people can share that, so that it's also help others, because I myself have firm belief that when you really see the Dharma, your life will change. But a lot of you, some of you might think, wow, Bante, because you are a monk, you have no problem with work, so it's very smooth for you. You don't have this enough drama. So let's those people who face drama in their daily life to share, can they see the Dharma in their daily drama? Okay. Any other questions?
Bante, just bringing back before in the group chat, there was something posted by Kema.
Yeah.
Bante, recently there are many cases of people in deep depression and committed suicide. After seeing those videos and news shared by others, my heart shrank down very much. Feel sorry for all these situations happen. How can I be not affected by these energies being disturbed?
Okay. Two ways to solve it. One is you are disturbed also is because of your thoughts. You're thinking about it. You keep thinking about it. Why people like this? When you're lost in your thoughts, you got to tell yourself, these thoughts is not going to help these people out there. If you want to help these people out there, you, your own self has to be strong, resilient. Then you can help other people out there. When you, your own self, realize that the love and peace that everyone's searching for is inside ourselves, and you live in there, then you can help to affect all these people. Okay, that's one way. Second way is, I'm very interested in many different, how mind works and energy and all that. So recently, I learned from this energy healing by some American, very simple way that they says that you imagine in your mind, there's a zip from your bottom of you zip it up, and that will protect you from any disturbance from any energy from outside. Whether it worked or not, I was told it worked by my brother anyway. My brother said he tried it and it worked. So he's more sensitive. I'm not so sensitive, so I don't know whether it works. So you can try that. You just imagine, there's a zip in front of you and you zip yourself up and it protects you. Anyway, to remind you, compassion is not about crying together getting depressed together with other people. It's understanding other people and have this strength to bring them out from suffering. Okay, I think we finished for tonight. Not too late.
Okay. Actually, Bante, I think we'll just do one last one, Bante, because
Okay.
that was posted in the group chat by Chiu Wei. Bante, can discuss mental problems like split personality from a Buddhist perspective.
Oh, this is tough. Split personality could be because of, it could be, I don't know, okay, you cannot take it from it could be from different karma that's coming, okay, it could be many different things. But the amazing thing about split personality is, that's why it's all in our thoughts. Let's say the person who have two personalities split, okay, one has asthma, the other one no. When he split to this personality, the asthma will happen. When he split to the other one, the asthma suddenly gone. It's in the same body. So that shows that even our body sickness, it's also activated by our thinking, our thoughts. So it's not real in that sense. So that you can learn something from that also. So to me, split personality could be many reasons and all that, but I'm more interested in, can we learn something from it? Everything, whether it's good or bad, you can learn something. Instead of trying to define it as this is bad or this is good, try to see what we can learn from there, how it can help us in our life. Okay, we can finish.
Yeah, Bante, I think we'll finish and then we'll just invite you for the dedication of merits and Bante.
Okay.
Bante, I would just like to make a request that we send our thoughts and prayers to Brother Tan Sin Lam. He's actually our contractor who helped to build Alokarama, build Mitraville in KK, and also the new Pusat Buddhist Dharma Duta in Malaysia, in Putrajaya. So he's got COVID positive, and he also requests to transfer merits to his mother, who has just passed away
Okay.
2 days ago.
Okay, so all of you in your mind can share merits with him and also transfer merits to the mother. Okay, and we'll do the sharing of merits. We have the slides.
No, Bante, can you please just lead us in the...
Okay, no problem. Okay, so in your mind, we share all the merits we have with all the devas, Dharma protectors, guardian deities, with all sentient beings, with all family member, relative, friends, especially departed family member, relative, friends, and ancestors. Make aspirations, always with the wise, avoid the foolish, be free from greed, hatred, delusion. At the end, again, share merits with all beings, wishing each and every single being that equal share merits. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe dewa numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe buta numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe sata numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Idame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kame na mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yawa nibbana patiya. Idame punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu. Idame punyang nibbana sa pacayo hotu. Mama punya bagang sabba satanang pajema. Te sabe me samam punya bagang labantu sadhu 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 sukhihotu.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you, participants. Venerable Sirs, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, we have now reached the end for today's session. Just to highlight, we will beginning, as Bante mentioned earlier, we will be beginning the awareness of Dharma in daily drama. It will be facilitated by Bante Narina himself, and it will be starting on the 9th of July. The link has been shared in the group, and also you can scan the QR code that is being shown now to join the group for more information on this. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.